on DraftKings. All right, time now for 4 things first. Things we saw, things we love from over the weekend. Brandon, you're going with Josh McCown signing with the Eagles.
4 things first is back. Eagles signed my buddy Josh McCown. Wow, how creative is the NFL getting? We always used to be stiff. We never stepped outside the box. You saw the Saints try to do a sign and trade, never happened before. And now we have the oldest practice squad player ever. He gets to be on the practice squad in Texas playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. This is the most amazing thing I've ever heard coming out of a football camp. Look at this. This is the guy that you do want, but doesn't he need to be in your locker room? I love you, Josh. I love you, but you find a way to stick around. Look at that dime. I love that.
All right, moving on. Kevin, you went with a song shuffle.
Yeah, Johnny Cueto was like, hey, no, this doesn't work for me pregame, guys. Change the music. Guys, change it. This doesn't work for me. The music's no good. I'll show you. It's putting me to sleep. And then just to drive home the point, he lays down. So I can't tell if he has a terrible relationship with the stadium DJ or a perfect relationship, and he's just like, nah, play cut 4. But it's the best highlight of the weekend, courtesy of Johnny Cueto, who occasionally balks when he's throwing the ball, but no one talks about it.
That's great.
Courtesy of
Nick, block party from LeBron. Go ahead, Nick.
I think LeBron is one of 2 people in the league right now that can pull off this sequence right here. And one of them is him at 35 years old. The other's 25 years old, and his coach is worried about playing him more than 35 minutes in Giannis. The two-handed block on one end, chasing down Russ, followed up with the one-man fast break and one. Even in game 1, LeBron had some exceptional defensive plays. This was at the top of that list. I thought this was the best defensive play of the weekend anybody made, and then he capped it off with an and one, Jenna.
Jordan did it at 40.
All right, moving on. I got a question for you. Why is the world's #1 ranked tennis player no longer in the U.S. Open? Why? Without having lost a match? I'll tell you, because of that right there. Novak Djokovic inadvertently hitting a line judge with the ball out of frustration. There was no malintent. He didn't mean to do it. He apologized immediately. He ran over. He said, I'm sorry on Instagram, and yet still he was cited for default, and he was sent home packing. And I get it. It's in the rules. But so is coming to a complete stop at a stop sign, which none of, well, I do it, but most other people don't completely do it. So I get the whole thing with the rules. But it's just an absolutely shocking end to Novak Djokovic's on his way to winning his 18th Grand Slam. U.S. Open, by the way, already having no fans, already without Nadal, already without Federer, and now without Novak Djokovic as well. I didn't like it.
Change the rules.
Anyway, moving on. Big weekend for Deshaun Watson. Let's talk some NFL. He and the Texans agreeing to a 4-year, $160 million contract extension, making him the second highest paid player in NFL history, behind only a guy named Patrick. $111 million in guaranteed money for Deshaun. It had been a rough off-season for the Texans, having lost DeAndre Hopkins, but there are certainly no more questions about Houston's commitment to their quarterback. Brandon, I'll start with you. Has Deshaun Watson been set up to succeed in Houston?
Not yet. Not yet. It's been a roller coaster in Houston. This is a team at times overachieved, underachieved. But here's why I say that. Because, one, you got to shore up that offensive line. You tried to do that last year with Laramie Tunsil. Then you tried to bring in a few pieces on the defensive side. Every quarterback's dream is to have a defense. And then you lose your guy, DeAndre Hopkins, who could be arguably a top 3 wide receiver. I would like to have seen the Texans try to figure that out and make that relationship work. Obviously, there was something going on there. But Deshaun Watson is a guy that can win a championship. There's some quarterbacks you look at and say, hey, we can give you the keys to our franchise. We can win a lot of games. But then there's other quarterbacks like the Russell Wilsons, the Aaron Rodgers of the world, that you can say, hey, we're going to give you the keys because we know you can win a championship. And this is that guy. Billy O'Brien knows he needs to keep this quarterback upright. Billy O'Brien knows he needs to continue to surround this quarterback with everything he needs to get the job done. Now, this is why you get paid the big bucks, right? Because you don't have DeAndre Hopkins. You have a bunch of number twos who can really play, but they're the same guy. So now Deshaun Watson has to really go through his offense and be a magician at times. Billy O has to dial it up. This needs to be the best display of coaching and play calling that Billy O has ever done. So, Wiles, I don't know where you stand here, but I think they can get it done if they continue to make sound decisions moving forward.
So the DeAndre Hopkins deal aside, that feels like the first weird part of this, but I think it's tough because Deshaun Watson doesn't control his own destiny here. Like, Deshaun Watson didn't lose a 24-0 lead to the Chiefs. The Texans defense last year gave up 24 points per game, 19th best in the league, 388 yards, 28th in the league. Their red zone was dead last in the league. So if they don't win games, are people going to look at Deshaun Watson and they're going to look at the defense? And I know Romeo Crennel's out, Anthony Weaver's in, but Nick, they start tough this month. Chiefs, Ravens, Steelers.
Yeah.
So if they could start 0-3 and not be shocked on the heels of a huge deal, I think there's a lot of pressure on Deshaun.
Well, listen, I think Deshaun's going to win an MVP one day. I think you could argue he's the third best. You could argue he's the third best quarterback in football. You could say it's Mahomes, Russell, Deshaun, not Mahomes, Russell, Lamar. That's a fair argument. But that highlight package we just played is really remarkable. We played 9, I counted clips there. He is hit and hit hard on 8 of those 9 clips. Like, it's not a lot of, oh, look at the clean pocket dime. It's like, no, there's a spin around. He makes an impossible play. Show the next one. Oh, he's about to get walloped, but he makes a nice play. How about the next one? Is he going to be, no, go spin around again and then get hit again while you're making a play. The Texans, another one, get hit going into the end zone. The Texans traded away Dwayne Brown right when Deshaun got there because they didn't like Dwayne's politics. And then they ended up trying to kind of reverse engineer themselves an offensive line, and they're still paying the price for that. They don't have a first or a second round pick next year because there's the one where he doesn't get hit, because of the Laramie Tunsil trade. Brandon mentioned they lost DeAndre Hopkins. Well, they lost him as much as you lose something that you give away. Like, they didn't lose him. He was given away in a world where Stephon Diggs goes for a 1, a player far better goes for a 2, and David Johnson on a contract that's underwater. And so for Deshaun, you do have to wonder. Deshaun went 12th in the draft. Patrick Mahomes went 10th. If the Chiefs had taken Deshaun Watson, do you think they've won a Super Bowl? Because I think maybe, yeah. If the Chiefs had taken Deshaun Watson, do you think we are seeing a lot more highlights where he is hitting guys running wide open rather than him doing loop-de-loops because he just got hit by a blitzing linebacker? I say yeah. And Brandon, the 2 most successful young quarterbacks in football, Mahomes and Lamar, both of their teams have made a concerted effort to build the perfect team for their skill set. It feels like with Deshaun, the Texans do it the other way. He's so good, we almost don't have to worry about what he can do. And I know they have 2 good receivers now in Cooks and Fuller, but those might be the 2 biggest injury risk receivers of anybody's top 2 receivers in football. So I do think, Brandon, he's been done a disservice by that organization, as great of a player as he is.
Yeah, I mean, it starts with stability. You know, look at ownership. It's been rocky there. Management. Is Billy O the GM? Is he not the GM? Right? You know, you have changes at coaches. Like, it's instability there. And you look at the other guys, the Chiefs organization, the Ravens, there's a lot of stability. It's a championship culture. And I think Billy O is fighting his tail off to try to get that done. I think Billy O is capable, but sometimes Billy O, you know, can get in his own way. Now, what I will say this, Deshaun does have some guys that can make plays. But you look at Cook, and I hate to talk about another player's injury history, but Cooks is a concussion away from being out another season. You have the kid Fuller, who's 1 go route away from pulling his hamstring. So, you know, I love this for the Texans. I think they're in a position to build around him, but they need to make sound decisions moving forward.
And Nick, to your point, the Packers have a little bit of that, right? They have Aaron Rodgers, so they don't have to worry about building the rest of that team up too much. But back to basketball with this very important question for the panel. I will ask it now. Is the Bucks run all but over after Giannis went down? That's next. This is First Things First.